Good day everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tace and I'm an AutoCAD inventor and Revit certified professional. This video will be part of a series that will take you through AutoCAD. I hope that you'll find this helpful and this video will guide you in the right direction. Alright, first things first, my properties panels are on the left hand side here. If you want this properties panel to also pop up like this, all you can do is just type in prop and you'll have your properties panel over here. Alright, it will probably just pop up in the middle of your screen. You can just drag it to the left hand side to get something that will pop open like this. Alright, I'm also using AutoCAD 2018 and I'm drawing in the millimeters unit standard. In this video today we're going to look at the layer properties, how to apply some of the properties, and we're going to look at how it applies to certain drawings and when to use it and so forth. All right. So the first thing that we need to note is that layers within AutoCAD is quite different than layers that you'll find in Illustrator or Photoshop. With layers in Photoshop and Illustrator, layers on top of each other, and it's an arrangement of layers. Within AutoCAD, layers are used to efficiently control objects, properties in large groups. All right, and also to identify certain objects within your drawing. The drawing I currently have here is drawn on the default layer. So the default layer is there so that every new thing that you draw that has not a layer assigned to it will automatically be on the default layer. For good practice, it would be you should actually get into the habit of creating your layers when you're setting up your drawing. Alright, now this drawing is not a good representation of how layers should look like. I'll show you guys before I finish the video what the drawing should look like actually. Alright, to go into your layer properties, you can either type in the layer or you can go and click on this button over here. The layer properties are all over here, and you'll also find some layer properties on the side here. Alright, so if you open the layer properties, you'll see that the default layer is here, and we will create two more layers on top of that one. Alright, the first layer we will be creating is the walls layer. So you can go click on this button, that's the new layer, a new layer button, so you can just select that one. It will prompt you to just type in the name. Now for the name for walls, we can make it A for architecture, dash, and then you can just type in wall or walls. Alright, I'll come back to these functionalities on an off, freeze, and lock. But for now, we're going to assign a color to this layer. All right, for this specific layer, we're going to use the color yellow. All right, its index color number is number 50. It's also all these colors, if you see at the bottom here, when I run over them, you'll see there's a number assigned to them. Now, this number is directly correlated to that specific color. So if you're setting up your layers and you want to get back and use these layers again, you can just remember that little number or write it down for reference, and you can get back to it quite easily by just typing it in here at the bottom. So if we have the yellow here, we can just type in 50 at the bottom here. All right, also we got some other tabs here. We got true color, which works on the red, green, and blue RGB color. We also have color books, but we'll get back to this on maybe in a later video. For now, we're going to work on our index color. From here, you can just select OK, and you have your color assigned to it, as you can see in this block over here. For the line type, we will leave it on continuous, but just for later use, if you want to use a different line type, you can load new line types in here by clicking the load button, and it will pop up over here. All right. There are quite different ones. There's quite a few of them. There's dot dash, long dash, double dash, and so forth. All right, let's leave it on that one for now. Now the line weight. So the line weight applies to, or is the line thickness. Now, for walls, we're going to use a bit of a thicker line. We're going to use a 0.5 millimeters thickness. All right, just select OK. So we've set up our first layer. For the second layer, we go select our button again, and we're going to call this one A for architecture dash door or doors. All right. We'll get back to this functionality momentarily. And for this one, we're going to assign the color. We're going to assign the color blue. All right. I would normally use this blue over here, but today, just for you guys to see a bit properly, I'm going to use a lighter blue. Yet again, you can look at your index color number, and you can just type in your number at the bottom here. So now I'm just going to click on it, and you can select OK. For the line type, also going to leave it on continuous. And for the line weight, we're going to change this to 0.25. All right, it's a bit of a thinner line. If you set up all your layers, you probably have quite a bit of layers. If you're doing a big drawing, you can just close it and it will save automatically. All right, so if we zoom in onto this part of the drawing, we'll see that there are walls here that's not assigned to a specific layer. So if we want to assign these walls to a specific layer, we can select them by using a crossing window, and we can select those two at the bottom. All right, so if you want to assign a layer to them, you can just drop down this menu over here, and you can go and select a wall, and you'll see automatically the color would be assigned to it. All right, and as well as the properties. The line type is not showing up over here. You have to actually go and select it at the bottom. If you do not have this functionality, you can open this menu and just make sure that you have a tick on line weight. All right, for now I'm just going to switch it off. If we select these, we'll see in the properties, the color would be assigned by layer. The layer name is A walls, your line type, your line weight, and so forth. You can also change the layer over here. All right. Now we can go a bit down and we can go to the door, maybe one of the doors. We can also just select it by using a crossing window, and we can go and assign the layer A doors. All right. Yet again, you'll see that the color has changed. And if we select them, we can go see over here that the color has been changed, as well as the layer has been assigned with its line type and with its line weight. All right. Now, what is those little properties on the side in the layer properties? So let's have a look at them. All right. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so we can see the drawing while I'm changing the functionalities. All right, zoom in a bit. Okay, so the on and off, so if you this little light bulb over here, what that means is that this layer, all the objects that are assigned to this layer, the A walls layer, after A walls layer, all the objects that are assigned to this A walls layer, if I switch it off, will not appear within the model space. All right, but it will appear within the layout space. All right, it's important to note that it will not appear in the model space, but it will appear within your layout space. So let's select, we don't even have to select them. You can just actually go and change it over here, and you'll see that they all disappear within my drawing. If I select it again, it will reappear. Freeze, and the other option is thaw. So you get on and off, and you get freeze and thaw. So this little sun over here, if you click on it, it will turn into a little ice flock. It's very similar to your on and off. So if I switch it on over here, I'll switch it off over here, it will disappear within my model space, but as well as in my layout space. All right, so on and off only switches it off in your model space, and freeze switches it on and off within your model and as well as in your layout space. Alright, if you lock a layer, if you select this little lock over here, it means it will change the transparency of this layer, and it will mean that you cannot edit this layer or edit the objects on this specific layer. You can switch it back on, and I'll unlock it a bit, and then you will be able to change the properties of these objects on this specific layer. Alright, so we had a look over there, and then we can also have a look at, we can also change some of the properties on this panel. So if we select our layers, you'll see that this will change. That will also change to the specific layer of the object that we selected. And you can go change the color of the specific layer, and you can go change the line weight, and as well as your line type. Right, you can still keep it on the specific layer and then change your line types and line thickness. All right. Now the drawing that I used, that I changed the layers just to the default one, it looks more like this. So you'll see that all the furniture has been assigned a specific layer, all the walls has a specific layer, your windows and the doors, and so forth. So everything is assigned to a specific layer. All right. What I will do is I'll put a link at the bottom of this video that will take you to a web page where it gives you some examples of naming conventions for layers, and as well as maybe which colors you want to use. All right, but that's subject to change depending where you work and what type of drawing you're doing, and or if you're doing architecture or maybe more on the mechanical side of things, that's subject to change. So you can use it for reference, but it might change in the future, maybe depending on what you are doing. All right, that is all from my side for now. If you like the video, please put a like, put a thumbs up there, and subscribe to my channel. That would be great. And I also have a Facebook page. I'll also put the link at the bottom of the video. You can just go and like my page there as well. Thank you very much, and that's all.